I didn't want to think about Honor, but there's some new cards too. New memes. We'll think of Tanjiro with his Hydronax and then using Motlurker. 15 combo, 15 mana combo? Go ahead, man. Deal 2 damage to minion. If it survives, give it poisonous. It's so memes, but this one? What the fuck is this, man? This is nothing good. What? What? Even Death Knight is pretty bad. Oh. No. I mean, Hunter, I don't mind it being dumpster class, but Abominable Bowman, like... If Death cards cost 2 less. I mean, if Corpse Widow sticks to the board and you have a bunch of Death Rattles in your hand, it can snowball. Let's check it out. Loot Hoarder? Yeah, obviously you play Kindly Grandmother. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's some Death Rattles in new set. Isn't that Hunter out of the question? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe that's the only viable control Hunter deck which might make sense. Play Dead, how is it good? Like, there's no Sylvanas anymore. I mean, it's a tempo deck. I can see it maybe working somehow. Like, this card is very powerful. You kind of want to kill it. And it's tougher to kill it than Thunder Rhino. I guess you can play a Tickling Abomination with it. It has this rattle. Like Twilight Summoner maybe. Twilight Summoner and yeah, it just feels like it's more like a meme deck, you know? Not a meme deck, but something you will do when you're really bored of everything and you're like, alright, let's try some tier 3, tier 2 decks. Playing that plus Tickling Abomination. Very good. Very good. Playing that plus Bomb Squad. Yeah, Corpse Widow is pretty good actually. When I first thought about this card, I was like, immediately you can't get too much value from it. You can play for 0 mana your Kindly Grandmother, but you'll probably play Kindly Grandmother before turn 5 anyway. There might be cases when you have like a 4-drop and 3-drop, etc. Or there might be cases when you top deck your Death Rattle creature at turn 5 so you can play it immediately. So then it works. But I didn't think about the possibility of it surviving, so you can play your Death Rattles for 2 mana less for next turn. So yeah, Corpse Widow seems pretty good. Not for every deck though. Like for regular Hunter, I don't think I can justify playing Corpse Widow over Thunder Rhino, I think. I guess you can also play Arthas Kappa. Arthas and Twilight Summoner, playing Dead, and then Terrascale Stalker, regular friendly minions, this rattle. Yeah, I don't think this will be any good, but it's something you can do. The Abominable Bowman, though, I don't think this will see any play, because there will be no control Hunter. I expected it to be decent if there will be like control Hunter spells you can play in early game, so you don't have to fight for the board using your own minions. But it doesn't seem like it's the case, so the only way for Hunter to keep himself alive is to contest the board himself with your stuff. So Abominable Bowman will resurrect shitty stuff on average, so then 7 mana 6/7 is not good. Build a deck? I don't want to build it. Like as I said, I'm pretty sure it will not be a competitive deck, so I don't want to waste my time doing it. I'll do it like on second or third months of expansion being released, when I'll be out of ideas what to do. What about Bloodworm, 5 mana for 4 Beast Lifesteal with all the buffs, Bone Mayor, etc. It will be killed as soon as you play, that's a problem. No, the Priest. Memes. The Death Knight seems very average. Like Hero Power, deal 2 damage. Or deal 3 damage? I think it's deal 2. Deal 2 damage after you play a card, refresh this. Yeah, so it's basically like a Shadow form. Okay, I mean, for 8 mana, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. All minions, like even yours. And then switch Hero Power. Like, Hero Power isn't bad. You also get the 5 armor part, so I guess that will do against aggro decks sometimes, but you will not be able to heal anymore. I don't even know about Death Knight. It's really depending on meta, if it will be good or not. It looks playable. Yeah, I think it's still good enough to play, but maybe not always. And like, it's probably the only good card in Priest I can see at the moment. Archbishop Benedictus, 7 mana for 6. No Battle Cry. Obsidian Statue, 9 mana for 8. Embrace Darkness, 6 mana, force your opponent minion to trade. Unless you're dead on board. Shadow Essence, summon a 5/5 for 6 mana. Devour Mind. Sad Steel, but for 3 cards. Like 9 mana card and it has no battle cry. You know what it means? All cards like Hex will just wreck it. I guess so you can say about the Tyrion. But Tyrion is a bit better, I think, don't you? Don't you think so? Like if Tyrion survives, it will be much more beneficial than this. And Tyrion is 8 mana. How is this good? Think about Primordial Drake. It's so much better. Which Nazas might be okay. I mean, if you play Nazas and you play Obsidian Statues, you already have so many cards you can play in the early game, you'll be dying to aggro every time. It just feels like a very mediocre power level class again. Like something with cool archetype, but not strong enough cards to be competitive. Spirit Lash very bad. Shadow Ascendant very bad. Eternal Servitude. Alright, there might be something about it. Like, you can play spell only Priest with Eternal Servitude in it. Devour Mind for card draw. Again, this is very slow, I don't like it. And then Shadow Essence. Like very few minions. Let me check what I can do about it. It's more like a wild deck. Like I can see why all these cards aren't so good. Just because they would break wild if they would have been very good. But we still have the Onyx Bishop. Eternal Servitude. If you play it and you get Lyra, you'd get to get a card from it as well, I think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't quite remember. Anyway, if it works, it's just like an upside of getting the Priest of the Fist yourself. But you can play Eternal Servitude on 4 because you will have no minions died. You get to choose from it as well. You need to play like a very few minions in order for it to be good. And I don't think it was sacrifice. I guess it combos with Radiant Elemental. You can play it for 3 mana. Happy Goal is interesting in Priest, right? It's like a 2 mana 3/3 if your face is damaged. Or you can heal your minion and then it's even better. But if your opponent knows you're playing Happy Ghoul, they will just not hit your face in early game. And then they will not mind it after. You see? And it's only for the hero, so you can go like Blade... Actually, yeah, it's only for the hero. You can go Blade Master Circle of Healing and Happy Ghoul. So I don't think it's good enough. I guess Skulking East can help control Priest, but you can run like Cabal Shadow Priest over it, and it will help you against many other matchups. It will save you versus Jade Druid, though. Not always. Like, you know, I think Ultimate Infestation is so broken. It's so broken. It's as broken as Druid will just be able to kill you fast enough. Even if you destroy all their Jade idols with Skulking Geist, because they will still get Aya and all other Jades very quickly with Ultimate Infestation. And they also deal 5 damage and summon a 5/5 with it, right? So... And also Malfurion, the Death Knight, will change the hero power. I don't know, man. I think it will be very tough to deal with Jade Druids. Even if you run Skulking East and you'll be lucky to draw it for a control deck. Swords on the Princess, all of them are trash. If I don't mention some card, like, you should be certain, if I didn't even mention it remotely, this is trash. Okay, let's put it this way. I might have missed something decent. Like I didn't talk about Corpse Taker. This might be decent in Paladin. But on overall, I just don't discuss cards I think will not see any play, for sure. Yeah, like Sunborn Valkyrie, Cobalt, Scalebane, those maybe somewhere, somehow, sometime. Scalemancer in a control Paladin. This card can be interesting. I didn't talk about when I was talking about Paladin. But this is very good for Doomsayers and... I guess not for Doomsayers, because then they just pack this rattle. But you can buff it with a taunt. Like if you run Bonemayer, okay, mid-range Paladin, 2 Steeds and 2 Bonemayers. Easy, right? You play Scalemancer, they don't want to kill it. and then you buff it, and then you make it taunt. If you don't have a steed, you will buff it with Bone Mayor. So here we go, value. I guess again it won't work every time. Sometimes you will just play this 5 mana 2/2 and you will have nothing to do with it. So I'm not sure if it works. Actually, speaking of Miracle Priest, I don't see any cards for it. Oh, man. I want Miracle Priest to be good. Yeah, I don't think much things will change for the Priest. It will still be a mediocre class. I don't want to build a deck as well, like, I'll leave it for that a lot. I guess Devour Mind is a bit better than Stout Steel. Since you only play Stout Steel really when you... Yeah, again it's the question if it's better or not. I don't know. Let's check out the Rogue. Death Knight Valier the Hollow, Battle Cry gains stealth until your next turn. Passive hero power, the Shadow. During your turn, add a Shadow Reflection to your hand. Each time you play a card, transform this into a copy of it. Yeah, so like... You get one Shadow Reflection each turn. As far as I understand, you play a card, you may choose to play this Shadow after. Shadow Reflection of this card. Or you may play a different card and then play Shadow Reflection of that card you played second. It won't always be a first card you need to copy. At least I think that's how it works. So what do we get? For 9 mana, we get this hero power, which is kind of like good grindy hero power. It basically draws you a card every turn. Then you gain a stealth and a 5 armor. Very good versus decks who are trying to kill you. But decks who are trying to kill you will probably do it before turn 9, except mages. Mages like to freeze your board, extend, and then Alexstrasza and kill you. So this will give you maybe 2 turns, and it's a lot. It's a lot of time to get 2 turns versus freeze mage. It's like 2 ice blocks. Yeah, maybe 1, 2. Like it's not 2. Like it only gives you 1 turn of mage not being able to burn you, and 1 turn. And second turn you will have +5 armor. Which will probably give you a turn as well, or it might not, depending on the amount of life you have. So how I see it, like, I'm not sure, maybe it might be even possible Blade Flurry will see as a play as a one-off, thinking about it. Because you can go a Dagger on 8, and then you play Valira on 9, and then you go Deadly Poison, Death Shadow. There's also a new rogue weapon. Shadow Blade can be used with Deadly Poison and Blade Flurry. There used to be no good weapon for rogue, that's why Blade Flurry was like mediocre. There was only Deadly Poison. Yeah, but this, like after you play this card, like it doesn't do anything, that's a problem, right? You will need to have an AoE, and rogue isn't doing a good job right now at having an AoE. And also, if you run Deadly Poison, it supports the Boomerang plan. Like you can go Shadow Blade, hit something, next turn you Deadly Poison, play Boomerang. Boomerang, whatever. And then you deal like 5 damage for 1 mana, which is pretty good. You can go Shadow Blade into Coin, Deadly Poison, Coin 1 Cleave, Coin Boomerang 1 Cleave, or Coin Deadly Poison Boomerang 1 Cleave, or Boomerang 1 Cleave, Prep Deadly Poison. If you play in Wild, you can go Prep, Tinkersharp Sword Oil, Boomerang. It's all good stuff. I'm not sure if it's good enough to play though. Like, if you will play Shadow Blade for sure, then like Boomerang, Wild Pyro plus Black Scientist, yeah, that works. It's like again very difficult to pull out, but it is AoE. I agree. But Rogue didn't get any card draw. We have Roll the Bones, draw a card if it's Death Rattle casted again. But this card is not even good. It's just like 2 mana draw a card in most cases. Runeforge Hunter. Yeah, compared it to Captain Greenskin before, but if you will consider it Blade Flurry, actually I'm not sure if it works with Blade Flurry, because Blade Flurry says destroy a weapon. It doesn't say remove 1 durability or remove durability of a weapon. It says destroy a weapon. I think it will still be destroying the weapon if you play Runeforge Hunter into Blade Flurry. What about having only 5-6 big creatures, Death Rattles, then you can play Hammer Rogue, just roll the bones so you can draw your entire deck. And then Fatigue. Like, you're implying that you should have like a bunch of big Death Rattles and the Hammett in your deck, and then don't die to early game aggression from aggro decks, so then you can roll the bones and fatigue yourself? I will not stop you. I want to see what happens. Bone Baron, 5 mana, 5/5, destroy all, add 2/1/1 skeletons to your hand. Okay, this one is actually not bad. I kind of missed it. Because you add it to your hand, you can use them as a combo or... They're not a spell, so... You can combo Vile Spine Slayers. So... If you don't want to play any cheap spells and you want to play big stuff instead, you can put the Bone Baron into your deck and use the skeletons to combo your Vile Spines. And different stuff as well. It's not bad, it might be some play. 7 mana, 7/7. Black Scientist plus Pyromancer combo. Yeah, I mean, how useful is this guy if you don't have any board and you don't have Pyromancer and you need to play something? It's very bad. It's like you need to have a Pyro and this, and then you have to play a spell to combo it. Leeching Poison. I mean, it actually might happen that Leeching Poison will see play. Like, I can't really exclude this probability, but it's very tough to make it happen, I think, because there will be a lot of weapon removal already in new expansion, I think. The Pirate Warrior will not go anywhere, and there will still be Medivh mages, I think. And there will be paladins, a lot of paladins, and they will have a lot of weapons, obviously. Like, dealing with weapon from Uther, this 5/3 lifesteal is just so important. It's basically like dealing with Atish from Medivh. But yeah, there will be not so many weapon removal, then maybe and Leeching Poison will see play as well. Like a Boomerang, like Doomerang with Deadly Poison, Shadow Blades, Leeching Poison, Valyria the Hollow, and 1 Blade Flurry. Weapon-based Smorg deck, kind of. Still sounds very memey for me though. I doubt it will see play. I can't really imagine, like, I think rocks will be just basically same. Maybe Death Knight Valyria the Hollow will be included, but that's it. Just to be safe versus mages. And Doomerang, I'm not sure about this one, like... You can always have like a 1 mana deal 1 damage, and if you... Like, I think Shadow Blade is very good. So if you play Shadow Blade, you can deal 3 damage with Doomerang. But you're taking a risk, right? Because sometimes you'll only be able to deal 1 damage, and you can deal 1 damage at turn 1 because you will have no weapon every time. But if you have a Shadow Blade and Doomerang, that works. If you run Blade Flurry and Deadly Poison for Valyria the Hollow, I think Doomerang will work as well. Also, you might run Shadow Blade and Deadly Poison, and then Doomerang is awesome, because you can go turn 3 Deadly Poison Doomerang, or you can go turn 3 Shadow Blade into Deadly Poison Doomerang on turn 4, or you can go turn 5 Shadow Blade, Deadly Poison Doomerang, and hit something so you can like kill 2 minions with 5 or less life. That's very powerful as well. So I think this might actually see play. A bit a shame you can't go face with Doomerang though. Runeforge Hunter, it's pretty bad I think. You would rather play Captain Greenskin. Yeah, I think all other gods won't see play. Lilian Vaz, I didn't mention it because I think it's pretty bad, but it is pretty bad. 4 mana, 4/5. And Battle Cry is a drawback in many cases. You don't want to replace your spells, because you have all this prep auctioneer synergy. Then you play your Lilian Vaz and you get random spells. It's like, would you rather play Swashbuckler if it was given spells from your deck or from your opponent class? Of course, first, right? So why would you play this when it's not even, it doesn't even have better stats than Yeti, and Battle Cry is a drawback. You can discount them. Oh yeah, I guess you can have a 5/6 guy who discounts your cards by 2. Ethereal Peddler. It's just a legendary. If it was like a common card or non-legendary card, you could put 2 into your deck, then sure. And also Ethereal Peddlers decks, they are not good, right? So yeah, just Valyria the Hollow, Shadow Blade, Doomerang, cut something for it and go for it. Maybe Deadly Poison and 1 copy of Blade Flurry. Regular Miracle Rogue, just with these cards. It might see some play. It has a lot of tempo, so it should be good versus those decks who are trying to get on the board slowly, like mid-range decks. When you can hit one something and then Doomerang something else and develop yourself and they won't be removing it. Yeah, maybe just Shadow Blade and Doomerang. I don't know, like some kind of weird combination of those cards. You'll probably see play. Shaman, like the most meme class, only got Freeze cards. I didn't change my opinion about all the freeze mechanics in Shaman. I think it will not see any play, like tier 4, tier 3 deck. The Avalanche was introduced. Freeze a minion and deal 3 damage to adjacent ones. I think multi-shot is better than this. Why is it 4 mana? I just feel so wrong. It kind of punishes aggro decks, I suppose, but you can even play around it. Doomeran Obsidian Shard. I think you'll just not have a space for everything in your deck. Like, you need to cut Auctioneers then. Cut Auctioneers kind of hit coins if you want to play it. Maybe. Snow Fury Giant. If this card was overpowered in Standard, then it would have been overpowered in Wild because of all trucks and all these aggro burst shamans with 7 mana, 4 mana 7/7s and etc. I mean, you can technically put it into a Spirit Echo Shaman and just run a lot of AoE like Lightning Storm and Volcano. You can literally run Volcano, Doomhammer, including a new Pirate, Jade Claws, Stormforged Hammer, a bunch of heal, Phantom Freebooter. Yeah, and also, so you have like a lot of big guys. You have Phantom Freebooter, Doomhammer combo. You can make like a big guy. It needs to be removed with hard removal. Then after you're overloaded a lot, you can just slam down the giants. Maybe play Spirit Echo on them. Kind of interesting. Also, the Drakari Defender support this strategy. You can play this, it overloads for 3, makes you giant 8, right? Then it is like getting traded into, but while people trade into your Drakari Enforcer, they don't go face. So that works, right? And then you play like a Doomhammer on turn 5, then you play a second Drakari Defender, they trade into it, you go face with Doomhammer, then you play like Volcano to clear the board, you overload even more. And then you play your Snow Fury Giants and your Booters Pirates. Yeah, it's kind of like a solid line of play, I would say, like silent way to build the deck. And I also find it funny that I think about this over thinking about like just straight up playing Freeze Shamans with all these Freeze Shamans card introduced. Like Ice Vision and Mugla package. That's interesting. Because like Doug was revealing his cards and he was like, oh, I don't think it was any play. And then I said like, but what if you play a Mugla package? And he's like, oh, you oftentimes won't get Finja, you will get a War Leader and a Warrior. But if you get a War Leader and a Warrior, isn't it good? Because on turn 5 you can play a War Leader and a Warrior and it does 4 damage. Yeah, I guess you have to play, you have to pay 2 mana earlier to draw 2 Murlocs to get this combo done. But what if you just get a Finja? Then you get the Finja and a War Leader to buff it, or a Warrior to go with a War Leader you will get from the Finja. So Ice Vision plus Finja package, or just simply Ice Vision and Quest deck. Burlock and Quest deck, like there's a Quest Shaman, right? You summon 10 Murlocs and you get Megafin. Yeah, Megafin. So you can play Ice Vision in there. But the problem of that card, you just like lose the board control and then you're done. So if you play Ice Vision, it doesn't benefit you anyhow, like in this circumstance. You still will lose the board. It's 2 mana draw 2 cards though. Like Shaman has no draw cards right now. Spells, except very terrible ones in Wild. Ancestral Knowledge. So there's no card draw for Shaman except Monetary Totem. So you can just solely play Ice Vision for the purpose of thinning your deck if you're playing some sort of combo Shaman. I don't recall any combo Shaman decks in a Standard though. Like in the Wild there's Imperators and Maligas. You can Ice Vision into Cold Light Oracles for ultimate card draw. They're Death Knights though. Transform your minions into random one that costs 2 more. Hero Power, transform a minion into a minion that costs 1 more. Hero Power just doesn't feel good at all, like paying 2 mana for such an effect. You can play Master of Evolution, but no one does it, you know why? It's not super good. Actually, I think Master of Evolution is not terrible, it just people don't play it for some reason. I don't play it either. Evolve is already good enough for like transform if you play Evolve Shaman. But yeah, you can play like Evolve, Troll Deathseer, Shaman with Masters of Evolution. It's like a double-edged sword because I think Battle Cry is very strong if you play a token Shaman. But then you have Bloodlust as well. And Transmute Spirit is better if you're playing like Evolve Shaman. Not an aggro Shaman, Evolve. Evolve Shaman with just a bunch of cards to evolve basically. But then your Battle Cry isn't doing much. Because you don't have a board most of the time. You might say, oh, how is it worse than Evolve? But you can combine Evolve with Doppelgangster. And you can also play stuff and then evolve it. If you need to play a Death Tier, you need to evolve your existing board because you won't have mana to play stuff and evolve it after. Yeah, you get 5 armor. How often you need armor being an aggro shaman? How often it's about it? Yeah, Ilf's ability to make totems. I mean, I don't think it's good enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Evolve Shaman doesn't need this. Well, actually, Transmute Spirit is a bit better for like controller shamans. But then Battle Cry again is not good. Playing it just to gain 5 armor, I would rather play the 4 mana 3/6. Heal for 6. There might be some like different archetype of shaman I'm not thinking about. But I don't think this card belongs neither to either of existing archetypes. You can evolve totem things from below and Jade Spirit with the Battle Cry. I know, but you normally don't have the board. And you can also do it with Evolve. And you can do it with Evolve on the same turn. You just go turn 5, Jade Spirit into Evolve. Voila. It's faster. The whole freeze shaman thingy like Cryostasis, Morabi, Voodoo Hexer, Avalanche, Burlak, Icebreaker. I don't think it will be anything. Like dealing 3 damage to advanced minions, it might not even be good enough to kill it. The Burlak is interesting. Burlak. I think only for the freeze shaman though. Like just for the freezing effect. You can run Glacial Shard. It's 1 mana cheaper, 1 stat cheaper. I guess it can also like work in the Murloc decks. If you freeze the minion, it can trade into your Murlocs. And then you go off with your Warrior or something. So for Murloc decks it can work. Also you can draw it from Ice Vision. But I don't see like if you play Burlock and Freeze Shaman, I don't see other Murlocs you wanna put in your deck. So this is for like a Finja package, I would say. Which might actually be decent. So I'm not saying Ice Vision will not see play. This might be decent. Again, what I mentioned, Drakari Defender, Snow Fury Giant decks. I'm not sure about power level of it as well. It has never been the archetype before. I don't see Drakari Defender being useful in any deck though, except like deck with Snow Fury Giants. Because this is like a 6 mana 2/8, if you combine stats. 6 mana 2/8 with Taunt. Not super good. You can play it on turn 3, so it's like an upside. If you think about 4 mana 7/7, it's basically a 6 mana 7/7. Which is better than Bolefist Ogre still. And 6 mana 2/8 with Taunt is weaker than any 6 drop. If you think about it this way. But you can play this defensively. So yeah, it's just too expensive for anything except like Snow Fury Giant decks when you try to slow down and have a lot of AoE to play after your Overload is gone. This might see play, this might see play. I don't want to make these decks yet because I'm not sure how good they will be. Not something I'll try straight up. Warlock I already made. Like, probably the best Death Knight. Warrior again, just Blood Razor and everything else seems very questionable. Yeah, maybe there's some neutral cards I forgot about. Arthas seems weak. What do you think of Northshire 1 damage AoE Circle of Healing OTK Priest deck with a backup plan of stealing opponent's deck? You can do it with Pyromancer, right? It literally comes down to Northshire Cleric when you play the Priest oftentimes, because this card is just broken. If you don't draw Northshire, like, if you draw Northshire you're good, if you don't draw it you're not good. I think Pyromancer is enough to have for the Circle of Healing Northshire Cleric combination. Tainted Zealot is interesting, maybe one off in Rogue, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it will be buffing Boomerang as well, or Doomerang. 2-Scar Fisherman, it's for like a tempo rogue maybe. A rogue with 1 drops. You play 1 drop, you play 2-Scar, you buff it, you get spell power and you get 2/3 body. A Zoo with Mortal Coils, if such will be good at any given point of time. Bone Mayor, there will be probably more decks with Bone Mayor, not only Druid I made today. Corpse Taker and Paladin, questionable, probably won't see play. What are the lifesteal minions for the Paladin except Burn Bristol? I don't want to play this. This guy is a 4 mana 3/3 Divine Shield Taunt. Not good enough, it has to have lifesteal as well. Which class you most excited to try? Druid? I really want to see how Jade Druid will work, and the deck I made today, and the Warlock. Basically decks I made I want to try. And I made only 2. Maybe there will be some sort of cool mage to play. It's just difficult to spot. Like it's either a quest mage or just a giant mage with Simulacrum and Cold Race and Burst of Sindragosa. Burst of Sindragosa is very good for giant mages because it's a spell and it's a cheap spell, and you can combo it with Cold Race to get even more cards, to get even more spells. And the Conjurer, you get a spell again. It all works. It has a good synergy. There'll probably be some sort of good mage with a good giant mage. Not exactly the quest mage. Only 2 decks was tried, and the rest of the decks are same cards. I mean, I would say they just amplifying decks, right? They're not making new decks, they're amplifying them. There might be some other decks I'm not seeing yet. Like I didn't spot. No one spot Quest Rogue power level at first, but it was pretty decent at the end. And just like it was decent enough to nerf it low. I hope Warlock will be decent. Warlock got some really good cards. Defile, Dreadlord, very strong. Death Knight, Alfriend, lol. Oh, this card is so bad, how could they print it? Treachery, Doomsayer, yeah, I don't think it will see play. Nosferatu, just a 2 mana 2/3. Yeah, but those cards are very strong. Like Unwilling Sacrifice is average. Like Sanguine Reveler is very good for Zoo. Maybe even an egg deck I just made today.